And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks, and I'm so glad. It looks like we're getting ready to have fall weather. Now, I hate it for the people in Florida that are getting ready to have some really bad weather, and we may get some rain tonight and tomorrow, but the temperature is going down, and I'm thrilled to death because I'm over this 90 degrees in October. So today we have an exciting program for you. We're going to tell stories, or maybe not tell stories.
Yeah, let's tell stories.
We may embellish some things, but it's basically going to be about some storytelling. So the first guest is Dwight Richardson, and Dwight is in charge of an Allied Arts project called Spirits, Legends, and Lore. And I asked Dwight to come on because this happens Friday, the 12th.
12th.
Friday the 12th. And I thought, well, he needs to be on today because people need to get tickets for this, and this is exciting. So I want to start out, Dwight. This is your 10th year. What in the world made you even think about doing this?
Well, a lot of people ask me that question. Here's what it was. The Chamber of Commerce has what they call a youth leadership.
Yes.
And I was over that for several years with some other people that helped me, and we developed a kind of a scavenger hunt and history and mystery tour downtown. It was Heritage and Tourism Day. So it took about a couple hours for these to give them clues, and they would go to like the old courthouse bell or Craig Mall Hall and places of history, and they would read in the storybook that we created about that thing, because those kids, they didn't know anything in the world about history.
Yes.
They lived here, go buy these things every day, but they don't have a clue.
Right.
Some of them, most of them don't. But anyway, that just kind of developed. They loved it, and they got good responses. I thought, let's do something for the entire community, not just these high schoolers, because there's so much history and mystery and folklore that people don't have a clue about. And that's really how it started.
And I think that's awesome. And this is, like I said, this is your 10th year. Now, and you've changed some things. You used to go from building to building and kind of a walking history thing.
It started out being called an Evening of Cleveland Mystery and Folklore. And I liked that title really the best. And we did a walking tour to Stampers and the Mausoleum and different places. People love to get out on a nice, crisp evening and go to those places. But it started raining the last few years we did this. And people are just not going to come out for a walking tour when it's raining.
That's right.
So we had to come up with a different alternatives, so we changed the name, changed the venue. Now we have it at the Lee University Buzz Oaks Theater, which is a black box theater. So rain, shine, this weekend, sleet or snow, it don't make any difference. We can go inside.
And it is so much fun because I've been the last, how many years have you been in the communications building?
We've been there two. This will be the third year.
This will be the third, okay.
Right.
And I've been to them, and I really enjoy it. I'm one of those people that I like to go sit down and you entertain me. Right. Don't let me walk around and have to entertain myself. I don't want to be entertained.
The chair's about this thick, so you got a good, nice seat.
Oh, yeah. And I don't have to do anything but sit right there. And so kind of tell people what happens at the Spirits, Legends, and Lores.
Okay. We this year we will have 7 stories and a musical selection. That's always a good musical selection. This black box theater that's is so acoustically done, and this year we do have a microphone system, so everybody will be able to hear. Most people can hear, but my wife tells me I'm getting hard of hearing, and I just tell her she don't talk as loud as she used to.
And I used to hear that a lot. Yes.
But there's people like me in that audience that get most of it, but they don't get all of it. So you'll hear 7 stories. All of these stories are true parts. Now we have, and we embellish a little bit, but there's a truth to some of them. Now, a couple of stories this year are 100% true.
Okay.
For instance, there's a new book that Dennis Stewart has come out with called The Desecration of Eliza Leonard. That thing is 100% true.
Okay.
Judy Baker was one of our original people that helped us. She helped write this story and adapted it to the storytelling. It's a sad and a eerie story of Dr. John Leonard and his wife Eliza. They have ties to the Flint Springs area down here right before you get to the Dalton area.
Right.
They live there, the mother and dad. The mother and dad is actually buried in the Presbyterian Cemetery there. And they later in years moved to off of Highway 131, I think it is, between Etowah and Tellico. Plains, that back road there.
Yeah.
They moved in that area. He was a very well-known doctor, and long story short, he passes away, and she just kind of goes berserk. And so they were married 41 years. So she decided she would build 41 feet from the house a big mausoleum. Now, most people know about the mausoleum where Nina Craigmile
Right.
lived, Carrera Marble. Well, she decides she's just going to build this monstrosity of a mausoleum right there out in the country. This is in the 1800s and early 1900s, so you can imagine what a spectacle it would be
Oh,
then.
yes.
Anyway, and just I won't tell you a lot about the story because I want you to come and hear it, but it has to do with her. I will tell you this: people would come to visit her from time to time, and she'd say, "Would you like to see me in my funeral clothes?" She would go dress up in her funeral clothes, go lay down in her coffin already in the mausoleum because her husband was already there, and she would just lay there, like she's dead, and she would do that for years. She was absolutely going crazy. But
True story?
This is a true story.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm serious. It is a true story. But the rest of the story gets more eerie, and her body was stolen, and all this.
Oh,
I'm
my
not going to tell you the
goodness.
rest of
Okay.
it. You've got to hear the story. It's a
Right.
true story.
Right. And who's telling that story?
Judy Baker's telling
Judy
that story.
Baker. Okay.
Yeah.
And Judy's.
No. I'm sorry.
oh,
No, Judy's doing the vampire chair.
Okay.
This is Melissa Woody.
Melissa's
the Cow
doing
Pea
that.
Festival.
Happy Festival lady. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Melissa's telling that story, and then you have some other storytellers. How do you pick these people to tell these stories? Do they come up to you and say, "Dwight, I want to tell a story this year"?
The majority of these people have been with us from the very beginning.
Okay.
We have had a few that had to drop out for various reasons. One lady, Sylvia Iden, we loved her. She passed away a few
Right.
years ago. So
Right.
we kind of just look for people. I've had people come to me and say, I want to tell a story, be a part of this. But Dan Buck is an example. He contacted and said, would love to tell a story. Well, I didn't know who in the world Dan Buck was. So I thought, okay, well, let me do some research. So I started researching Dan Buck. Well, this guy ought to be fabulous. I've never heard him tell the story. I'm just going on what I've heard, and he's over the theater department, I believe, at Lee. Anybody over the theater department should be able to tell the story.
Should be able to tell a story.
But in my research, I have understood that he is going to be a great storyteller.
Now, when Dan did that, did he tell you, "I have a story I want to tell"?
No,
Or did you?
he just said,
Okay.
I'd like to tell a story, and that typically we give the story to the person.
Okay.
It's rare that they would bring a story to us.
And I know you've done, one year you did or maybe several years, you did the Craigmile story. And I know you've got some other people that have told. Of course, Judy, I love to hear Judy tell stories. And she's, like you said, she's been there since day one. You have a celebrity this year. You had him last year and year before, I think.
This is our third year.
Third
for
year with him.
Yeah.
Greg Glover will be there from Channel 3 News. And what's Greg telling?
Greg's telling them bloodstains on the mausoleum.
Okay, all righty. So we'll get that one done, and then we have Pete Vanderpool. Santa Claus is telling, not Santa Claus, is he?
No, he's telling a great story, though, that's basically true. It's called The 17. Connie Gatlin adapted this story several years ago. It's about these Confederate soldiers traveling from Knoxville to Chickamauga, Georgia, and they have a train wreck around the McDonald, Tennessee area.
Okay.
It was, and 17 soldiers got killed. They were in such a hurry to get to the battle because of the pressure they were under. All they had time to do was just dig a mass grave and put these 17 people in that
Okay.
grave. It's a great story.
All right. So we have 7 tellers, approximately, is what we're going to have. And now you have 2 shows, because last year you just had one show, and
we
you had to
sold
turn
out.
people away.
Yeah, we sold out. We don't want to do that this year.
Right.
So we have a 6:30 show and a 8 o'clock show.
Okay.
Now, we'll tell you, we're only selling 110 tickets for the 6:30 show.
Okay.
So if you're going to come to that one, you need to go ahead and get your tickets quickly because the theater is only going to seat about 130 people.
Okay.
So we don't want to turn some walk-ups to come and make them come back at 8 o'clock because they may not come back.
That's true.
So we've kind of reserved it. So we're only pre-selling 110 tickets.
Okay. Now you have sponsors for this.
We have sponsors. Yeah, let me tell you. I'll try to do this by memory. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
The sponsors this year are the Red Ribbon. I don't know
Yes.
if you've ever heard of that place or
Yes,
not. It's a
I'm familiar.
fabulous little shop.
I'm familiar with that one. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Check into cash. We've got the Plastic Surgery Clinic, Fenimore's Weddings and Events,
I'm
Bender
familiar with
Realty.
him, yeah,
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Bender
and
Realty.
Bender, I'm familiar with them.
Bank of Cleveland. Come on, who else? There's one or two more. I'm so sorry. I'm totally
I'm
blank.
sorry, I just got
These
cold
cameras
turkey
are
on that.
scaring me. I
I
just
know,
can't.
I know. People get all
I'll think
upset.
of it as we go along.
Yeah,
here.
you will. Don't call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and tell me about it. Though. So now this is going to be at the Communication Building on Lee University campus. And if anybody doesn't know where that is, it's one of the newer buildings on the campus. It's on the corner of Ocoee
Ocoee and
and
Central.
And it's that pretty
Yeah.
kind of round-shaped building.
Yeah,
that
you've
sits
got
there.
St. Luke's here. You got Ocoee Street. You got the Communications Building where we're going to be. Then you got Parker, whatever that is there.
Yes.
Then you got the Pangle Hall, which used to be First
First
Baptist Church.
Baptist,
So it's
right.
right there in the middle of all those. Not nice parking. Street lights are nice and good. Could I mention something else
Sure.
on this? Mallory Ledford is one of our singers this year. She's going to be singing a song called Mary, Did You Know? That's a Christmas song. I'm sorry.
That's what happens when we were talking about Christmas before, folks.
Bringing Mary Home.
Yes.
And that's an eerie song by the young
Oh, it
lady.
is. Oh, my goodness.
And she does a great job on that. You're really going to enjoy hearing her. Tempo T has typically done this, but, it's fall break and he's gone, so we're going to excuse him this one year.
Well, I think he's back because I think they got caught
I think
in
he's
the
back, too.
hurricane. But yeah,
I think he's back too. We may have two songs by Mary Bringing Mary Home.
because that is an eerie song. That's a really
It
eerie
is.
song. So, and most I know Judy's been telling for the whole 10 years, and some of these at Connie Gatlin.
Connie's been with us from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Judy has. Pete Vanderpool has. And I think that's probably it. All the rest
Okay.
have been almost that long, but they've been fairly newer.
And I think this is so exciting. So you can purchase tickets for this that are the tickets that are still available. Now, Dwight told you, don't
I'm so sorry.
answer that phone, Dwight. Dwight
That was
told
somebody
you.
wanting tickets right there.
Okay, good. Dwight's selling tickets here on the TV. But Bank of Cleveland and the Chamber of Commerce has the tickets. and
That's
they're
correct.
$10
Downtown.
for adults and $5 for students. But
Yeah.
now let's talk about students for a minute.
Yes, we don't want to offend anybody. We have to be politically correct, whatever we do
Whatever
nowadays.
we do,
But
we be politically
please
correct.
be mindful. Children 5 and 6 years old under typically do not need to be here.
Right.
It's not because it's scary. It's not anything inappropriate. It's a black box theater. It's done by spotlight and candlelight, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming to children. And so last year was a good example. We had a little 5-year-old girl. She whimpered about 25 minutes during that. I felt bad for the whole bunch because people around her, and she was scared, and it just didn't work out. So
Right.
we would prefer 5 or 6-year-olds under not be in attendance.
Right. And it's like Dwight said, they're not really, they are kind of scary stories, but it's not like anything's going to jump out and
Right,
grab
right.
you.
Nobody's going to jump out and stab you or
Right.
jump up behind you and boo or
Right.
anything. It's just kind of intense.
Right. Well, like Judy did to me one time. I had her on, and she told a story, and I don't remember what the story was. When she comes on, she can say. But anyway, she booed me at the end, and I practically jumped out of the seat. So we don't have any of that going on. But the thing I like about this, spirits, legends, and lore, and all of these stories are that, but they do relate to the Bradley County area.
Right, Bradley County and a little surrounding area. Like, for example, this year, we got another minute or two
Yeah,
here.
we do.
Dan Buck is going to be telling about the Cleveland Coffin and Casket Company. Most people have no clue that we had one of the largest coffin and casket companies in the South. And it was just right under the underpass there that everybody hits going on Emmett Street, just right to the left, 3.5 acres right there. That's where this factory was at. In its day, they were the largest producer of wooden coffins in the whole South. And most people don't know that. And we've got an absolutely intriguing story about the coffin called the Floating Coffin.
Yes.
Sandy Farlow from
Sandy
the Chamber.
Farlow, yeah.
She helped write this story, and it's just a wonderful piece of folklore. And there's a lot of truth in it, but
Yes.
there is some folklore.
Yes.
But it's a great story.
And I love the term embellish.
Yeah.
Because y'all have embellished
We've
some of these
embellished
stories.
just a few.
They didn't make lies out of them or anything, but they have
That's right.
embellished them so that they make good stories.
Right.
Okay, Dwight, where can they call to get tickets?
I don't know the telephone number, but you have to call the Chamber or
Okay.
Downtown Bank of Cleveland. They
Okay.
both have the tickets.
Chamber is 472-6587.
Okay. Oh, and Bank of Cleveland is 595-7300. No, that's not right. And all the years
Somebody's
I've
at
done that.
715-0080. Is that you?
0030?
0080. 715-0030.
30.
30, I'm sorry.
That's my cell
yours.
phone
Okay, that's
number.
Dwight. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a-
or you can call Bank of
Oh,
Cleveland.
478-5656 is Bank of Cleveland
Okay.
number.
Or you can just walk in
You just
to the
walk in
Chamber of
and-
Commerce or
yeah.
Bank of Cleveland downtown.
Yeah.
Now, don't go to
Now,
one of the
please
branches.
remember, only 110 tickets are going to be
Right,
pre-sold
right.
for the 6:30 show. That seems to be the most popular show
Right.
right now.
Because I'm coming at 6:30, so then I can go out to eat.
Listen, and if you're interested at all in history and mystery of Cleveland, it is just a very well done, nice evening to learn a whole lot about our area.
And it's entertaining.
It is very
It's
entertaining.
very entertaining. Dwight, thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you.
on. Now, this is this Friday, folks, Friday the 12th, not the 13th.
You almost
Friday
said
the 12th. I did. I caught myself.
Last year it was the 13th.
Yes, it was, but this year it's Friday the 12th. And so be sure you come out and get your tickets. Dwight, thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for that.
Nancy. Thank you.
I hope to see a huge crowd there because this is a fundraiser for Allied Arts and Cleveland Storytelling Guild. And Judy Baker will be on in just a minute to talk about that. So don't go away. Watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and I'll be right back.